Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Visual Disturbance. Today, we're going to be talking about the Kandahar Giant location. And let's get into it. Whoa! Here I am, Brian Reese. Welcome to Visual Disturbance. Thanks for everybody being here today. And we was talking on the community post that I put up on the channel that it was either between Star Forts and Giants. But guess what? I am not going to back down. I am going to do both. I'm going to do Star Forts and Giants. So I appreciate everybody getting on the comments and putting their vote in and saying Giants, Star Forts, and whatnot. I appreciate all the kindness and all the cool comments. It's great, guys. So I'm going to do both. But as of today, we are going to talk about the Kandahar Giant. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories with this. You know, I just put up a video the other day with the Giants in Chimera. You know, and you just can't make this stuff up, right? So, you know, they tried to spin it off as a hoax, but it's not a hoax with this Kandahar Giant. But one thing I never had even thought about doing was looking up location and get an aerial view of the Kandahar Giant, or in Kandahar, or just looking at Kandahar. You know, the whole story is very interesting. So let's get into it today, and let's kind of get a baseline of what, if anybody's never heard of the Kandahar Giant, let's talk about the whole spiel of the story of the Kandahar Giant. It's going to be interesting. In this article here, Kandahar Giant, everything you need to know. In 2016, numerous claims cropped up from various sources that discuss the supernatural myths and conspiracy theories that a 1,100-pound, 12-foot-tall giant killed an American Special Force soldier serving Kandahar, Afghanistan in the year 2002. And later, the Kandahar Giant was killed by the military. However, it was revealed by the Department of Defense spokesman that there is no record of such an event or an incident. Yeah. So they have to spin it, and basically, well, first of all, those poor souls had to go down there and take on this 12-footer, 1,100-pound man with agility of a gazelle and the strength of probably like 15 bears. It's kind of a scary thing. I've heard some rumors. We'll get into it. I'll tell you my input on it, what I've heard through my walk. And granted, this happened in 2002. There's been a lot of things happen since 2002. Here we are in 2022. Let's just keep reading the report. Let's go for it. However, the Giant of Kandahar story caught interest of people in 2016 after a YouTuber and blogger, you can read the name there, posted an episode about the Kandahar Giant on his YouTube channel. Well, I'll just go ahead and say his name. I think he's done an excellent, phenomenal job on Giants, is L.A. Marzulli. I think he's done a wonderful job on that. Here, continuing the article here. And forgive me for all these horrible things and these ads. I hate these ads on these websites. A group of Special Forces operations soldiers disappeared in 2002 while they were patrolling in a remote mountain region of Kandahar, and Kandahar is located in the south of Afghanistan. The military sent a special unit for investigation as they were not able to make radio contact with the soldiers. Yeah. So y'all heard me just the other day, especially when I was doing my Bermuda Triangle video, especially when all my videos always mention it. Magnetic fields, disruptances in radio frequencies, etc., and all the above, all that. And it's kind of funny, right? Like not that they lost communications. It's just they were supposed to be able to, back in the 60s, he was able to make a phone call from the president's office up to the so-called moon landing or whatever. And it was supposed to be that far distance and have communication, just clear cut radio frequency, but you can't get, in 2002, you can't, in the mountain region in Afghanistan, you can't get good signal, radio communications, ham radios, all that special stuff. Supposed to be the. Anyways, I digress. I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, they was investigating, able to make no radio contact with soldiers. The unit carrying search operation found a cave with army equipment scattered across a high mountain in the mountains. However, there was no visible sign of missing soldiers, and since then, many conspiracy theories started to float around the Kandahar Giant. Yeah. So I've heard a whole totally different spin on this whole Kandahar Giant, and I'm not believing what the government and everybody's saying. I would L.A. Marzulli and them said, and those eyewitnesses and those soldiers. I agree with that. I believe it did happen. Continue on. A mythical 13-foot tall monster who lived in the mountains of Afghanistan and was killed by U.S. Special Forces. The death of the red-haired, six-fingered hand giant was later covered up by the government. And in Kentucky, you can bet your ball and dollar there was red-headed giants. And yeah, we can go on a big tangent about that, but I'm telling you, the giants did exist, and whatever. And I just did that Giants on Crimea the other day, and they literally admitted that they found giant skeletons. So what's going on with this 2002 event? What's going on? Let's continue on. A complete myth. That's what it says. The YouTube L.A. Marzulli uploaded a lengthy video. All this stuff. It's talking about the team slaughtered by the Kandahar Giant brutally. The incident took place with the U.S. launched fierce battles with the Taliban and their de facto capital in Kandahar province in the early 2000s. However, this huge monster was not at all a human fighter. Mr. K describes the Kandahar Giant as a 13-foot with two sets of teeth. The monster killed one of the Special Forces soldiers with his spear weapon. The rest of the soldiers killed in less than 30 seconds by firing at him nonstop, according to the ATI. The Army soldiers that took away his corpse in a Chinook helicopter and hidden it ever since, as no one saw him ever again. Yeah, I'm going to pause for a second. So, first of all, he was alive until they took him out. And why such a big cover-up, right? And why was this character guarding this disclosed location in this mountain region in an area where you can't reach with with anything but an airplane or helicopter or whatever? So this is a pretty interesting topic. There are some other reports that suggested he was as tall as 15 feet with 6 digits. Leather moccasins have a foul smell and came all of a sudden from a cave and killed one of the soldiers with a spear. One report said between them the squad was armed with full auto MK carbines, recombines, semi-automatic, and I'm getting tongue-tied, and M107 Barrett and anti-material rifles firing 50 BMGs. This much firepower considered on the target for the 1 second, let alone 30, would be extremely destructive. The soldiers were asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA. However, the soldiers broke their silence as they felt that the truth should be brought forth and that it is right for the people to know this. The government denied the killing of the Special Forces member of the Kandahar Giant, and then they go on the big rant. They try to spin it. The Snoops asked the Department of Defense regarding the Kandahar Giant incident. They replied, stating that we do not have the record or information about the Special Forces member killed by a giant in Kandahar. Moreover, there was neither an official response from the website nor a press release saying a Special Forces troop went missing in Afghanistan or killed by a soldier and a giant. And that's the end of the article. Yeah. So, I'll get into what I know. By personal experience. Excuse me. People that I ran into, ex-military, ex-Rangers, served in Afghanistan up until like a 2007, up until 2010. I have heard many stories, many stories, and I'll tell you this one. I'll tell you very well. There's every one of them matches up. They're all been told in different years and time frames. They all are the same story. They get military is being trained to fight in caves, point their scopes up, and complete, sonar, and I mean not sonar, but night vision, and go in caves and just train and point upward. You're not pointing. You're not shooting at bats. You're not, you know, it's not the big bears in the caves and all that they're spinning here lately. I could go on a big tangent about that. That is being reported. A bunch of big bears in the tunnel systems. Yeah. Anyways, I have another article. But getting back to what I was saying, all these individuals with their testimonies have spoke. Yeah, we've done that. So this is 2007, 2010. They were still doing these training exercises, right? So what do you mean in 2002 they found this so-called man, this giant man, 1,100 pounds, 12 foot tall, 15 foot tall. They couldn't really make out, but they're saying 1,100, according to this article here, 1,100 pounds and 12 foot tall. So you mean tell me that character, and they say that he was dressed in like a Roman steel type of, outfit, decor, like an outfit deal. But the question that I have to ask is, what was he guarding when he was out there? And then he got disrupted, right? He stunk and all this stuff, and he took out two SWATs of, what was it, like I think it was one SWAT crew on special forces, and I think another one, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember hearing my memory correct, and then another one, and then the other one succeeded and actually got the guy, actually took the big giant down. So what was he guarding? They said he was supposed to come out of the cave and had a big javelin and speared somebody and started throwing a guy around like a helicopter and throwing him up in the air. So what was he guarding? So what happened to that cave system that he came out of? Why was he there for so long? How long was he there? That's a question, right? Or what was he guarding? What was his purpose? That's a good question. And we'll never know. So let's continue on. We'll show you all something. In this, you just do a good Google search and military training tunnels. This was in 2018. And it says late last year, the Army launched an accelerated effort that funnels some $572 million into training equipment. 26 of the 31 active combat brigades in fight in large-scale subterranean facilities that exist beneath dense urban areas around the world. So, what's the purpose? What is the purpose of this? And I remember in 2017, the government in these national parks was, closing off some of these so-called one moment. What I did with that? Just bear with me. Well, we having some technical issues there. An ant was there. Literally an ant. It looked more like a giant spider on my monitor. But anyways, why are they pushing this and doing this right now? And then they're pushing, and then I have on, word of mouth, gentlemen saying, yeah, we've been training K's, since 2007, 2010, all this stuff. Now we're really pushing it. They're spending all this money. I keep hearing all kinds of different, stories about what's going on in this country. And then, like I was saying, they closed all these national parks and putting these so-called, they're fortifying the cave doors, right, to close off the cave entrances. So that being said, there's something to it. It can't just be that simplified. And I want to go here so I can kind of give everybody what I have found. And one real quick, I'm going to throw a scripture out. Those that you haven't watched any of my work, I'm going to throw out a verse here. Everybody knows about it, probably that watches this video. But if you don't, hey, something new to learn, you know? There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men of old, which were of old, men of renown. Genesis 6, verse 4. And if you look at that and you say, okay, hang on a minute, you know, what are we looking at in 2002 here, this 2002 event? And like I said, what was he doing? And I don't have a bead on a location. You cannot find a location of this specific tunnel. So I want to show you all something. And this is where it gets really cool. So just hang on. So here we are, Google Earth. I'm going to go to Kandahar, right? So I'm going to back up. I'm going to hold back a little bit and show you all some ley lines. And, well, I'll just zoom in first. So if you go to Kandahar, get into Kandahar here, you can see the city and all that, and all these different, you can just get into all this stuff here. But for the sake of the time of this video, there's all this, there's mountain ranges and stuff like that. There's probably an upteen amount of cave systems, etc. But I wanted to show you all something that I keep finding these patterns in the ley lines. I'm gonna keep showing you all this. It's just blowing my mind. The last two videos that the Bermuda, the Giant, and all the Nephilim Stargate one. I keep finding patterns in the ley lines when it comes to, hold on to your seats, these the pentagon shape. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And see, look at Kandahar here, and all this area, and all these ley lines. My goodness, I mean, this is a hot spot for ley lines. But it's all, what was so interesting, it literally shoots right through Kandahar. And I know that these, obviously, all throughout the earth, especially on Google Earth, when I can find on the ley line narrative, I can find a ton of these, okay? But the problem is, it's every time I find one, there's a significant reason why I'm looking, and it's like, okay, Bermuda Triangle, you wouldn't think, bam, there's one, and then there's a Stonehenge, bam, there's one. And it's all these metholithic places, or if I get into like what we're talking about today with the Kandahar Giant, you're like, what? So I have to just really take a step back and think about this for a while. But let's get back into it. So, like you can see the pentagon shape, and you can see that there's ley lines are like literally almost through Kandahar here. I mean, it's like almost touching Kandahar, and it's not that far in proximity of the Kandahar. I mean, it's, I don't know. Let me see here. I don't know. It's 25, 27 miles, give or take, 25. So, for this giant to come out of the ground, out of the tunnel system, right? And to be in this section where this pentagon shape of ley lines is, I'm going to keep digging. I'm going to try one of these days to actually find this location, because I've looked. We'll go back. I have looked. Obviously we can go to Kandahar in Afghanistan. Obviously we can. But the question is, was it up in here? Was it here? I mean, we could look all day. I mean, the mountains of Kandahar, I mean, there's all kinds of, like I said, we could be here for up to an amount of time. But what I'm getting at, that's why I titled this show, Kandahar Giant Location, question mark. Does anybody know? I know the guys that had their testimonies back in 2002 that had the Chinook helicopter that had the 1,100-pound 12-footer, redhead, 6 fingers, 6 toes, 2 rows of teeth. They know what to do. They know where it was at. But apparently, that is being pushed under the rug, and according to the government and everything, just trying to cut it off and say it didn't exist anymore. But we have data that says elsewise, So what are we gonna do? So, but yeah, so it's a short video today. I just wanted to touch base on this topic and kind of show you all an overview of. I once again found a pentagon-shaped ley line formation over a significant piece of land, where a significant piece of data, controversial, conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, but I believe that it happened. What do you all think? But anyways, I hope and pray that y'all enjoy the video. I'm gonna try to get that Bermuda Triangle part 2 coming out soon. It's gonna be coming out soon, you all. So stay tuned to that. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. And then one other thing too, I want to mention before I get off here. I want to read this. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16. And I just wanted to give glory to Jesus before I get off here. But I'm trying to expose these things. I'm going to dig some more deep into the Kandahar deal, maybe kind of do some mapping out to see if I can actually find the little cave system. But once again, I'm going to ask everybody in the comments if you know anything about this and you can give me coordinates or where this so-called tunnel system was. Please, by all means, let me know. And, we'll just see you guys next time. And thank you for watching. And go check out the new video I'm going to be putting up sometime soon. I don't have a link yet, but it'll be coming up soon, probably next few days. And the Star Fort one. I'll be popping off a Star Fort one here soon. So I hope you can pray that y'all have a great day. Shalom, everybody. And until next time.